and is the lovely Maureen Baranov. She's an Arts Council member. Maureen is also a veteran teacher of 25 years, which is kind of odd because she's only 30 years old. Nothing can rival that first year of teaching. She's going to tell you about it. She's here to tell you a story about it tonight.
Oh, great. I didn't expect such a big crowd. I usually have a class of 32. I should give you a little bit about my background, a little information about my background before I launched into my story. I lived in Italy for 5 years and became fluent in Italian, worked in the fashion industry, and decided, after having lived there 5 years, that I wanted to come home and get my bachelor's degree, make something of myself. So I came home, got my bachelor's degree, and proceeded to work in the fashion industry in New York. I worked for several high-end menswear, Italian menswear industries, companies, and I did a lot of travel, which sounds exciting until you have to do a lot of travel for work. And I don't know whether I was in Houston or Dallas or Portland. I woke up and I said, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to become old and gray on the road. I didn't want to die the death of a salesman, as it were, and decided that I was going to join the Peace Corps. And came back to New York, told my best friend about my decision, and she said, don't join the Peace Corps. I'll never see you again. Become a New York City teacher. It's like teaching in the Peace Corps, but you can get home at night. And damn if she wasn't right. So, having no education courses, never having taught a day in my life, I took my transcript down to the Board of Ed, which at that time was located in Brooklyn, and was interviewed in a cubicle, and the man looked over my resume. Well, it wasn't a resume, it was my transcript, because it was my bachelor's transcript, and he said, congratulations, you have the credentials to teach ESL. And I said, great, what's ESL? And he looked at me, he said, English as a second language? I said, okay, great. And we're going to assign you to the South Bronx. Okay, great. But I was living in Riverdale, which is a nice area of the Bronx at the time, so South Bronx wasn't that bad of a trip for me. It was off the Grand Concourse, so we were in walking distance to the zoo. And it was a middle school, and I was a rookie teacher, not having a day of experience or even a teaching class in my life. And they were kind to me. They didn't give me a homeroom that first year. And the homeroom is a legal document for taking attendance, for those of you who may not know. And I was very happy not to get it. And 3 months into the school year, the assistant principal comes up to me and says, Maureen, we have on our staff a New York City bus driver. And he just got his route changed, and we're going to accommodate him. He's got to leave 15 minutes early. You're going to have his PM homeroom. And so I said, okay, because the Board of Education is like the Army. You do what they tell you to do. And so I had these children whom I didn't know for PM homeroom to take attendance. And so the days rolled by and things were fine, except I think it was day 4 or 5. There was a young man who suddenly jumps up, unzips his pants, and presents his equipment as if on a silver platter at full mast. And I looked, and I have to be honest, my first impression was, my God, this kid is hung for a 7th grader. But over on the other side, I see the girls screaming, Miss, it's purple, it's purple. Now this is a bilingual program, okay, so the second thing I was impressed about is that they knew the color purple. Because it's a difficult color for bilingual, it's a difficult word for bilingual kids to acquire. They just never remember that color, so I was impressed about that. But then I see the other corner of my eye, I see the other boys, they're up, they're agitated, and I could just imagine a contest ensuing. What do you do? I mean, what do you do in a situation like this? I came from the garment industry. I knew about, overages, shortages, cancellations. I didn't know about this. I had no training. So I said, Enrique, Show and tell is Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Zip up, sit down. Girls, what color did you think it was going to be? Orange? New regulations from the Board of Ed. We now have to raise our chairs on the desks for the custodians to sweep at night. So at the count of 1, 2, 3, everybody's going to put their chairs on the desk. 1, 2, 3. Bang, bang, bang. Crash, crash, crash. No, that's not going to do it. No good. Too noisy. Put your chairs down. Up. Bang, bang, bang. Crash, crash. Still better, but not acceptable. Do it again. After 5 times, they got the hang of it, and thank God the bell rang. So, I stumbled out of school that day. I did not talk to a soul. I stopped at a liquor store. I bought the best bottle of scotch they had. Went home, had 2 pops, and said, Maureen, what did you get yourself into? But then, I ended up making a career out of it anyway. 26 years later, I'm still teaching. And this is my story of tragedy, triumph, and adventure in front of a live audience in the New York City Board of Ed. Thank you.